So I want to think about for a moment before we go dig into this word friend for a little bit. I want you to think about the fact that Jesus gives what appears to be a command about how to love. He says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends." And a lot of us have taken that definition and we've applied it into our own life, and we've said, you don't really love somebody unless you'll die for them. But I want you to know that Jesus was not talking about you in this passage. Jesus is trying to explain to you how loved you are. Remember what he just said. Greater love, what he just said is, this is my commandment, that you love one another the way what? I have loved you. So his audience might be hearing him and thinking, well, that doesn't do me any good. I don't know how much you love me. So Jesus says, you're going to know how greatly you're loved when someone dies for you. Paul grabbed hold of that in Romans chapter 5 and verse 8 and said, and while we were yet enemies, Christ died for us. What was Paul saying? If you want to know how loved you are, just take a look at the cross. Because God would only die at Calvary if he really loved you. Because he didn't deserve to die. He didn't do anything worth dying for, and yet he died so that you could have life and have it more abundant. So why must he have died? Because there's no greater way to prove your love than to die for the person that you love. So Jesus is not asking you to go die for your friends. If you die for your friends, you do not save their soul. There is not a one of us that can, by sacrificing our life, save us the soul of a man. Now, we might save someone's life by dying in front of, if they're going to die, and maybe we step in front of it and die for them, and sure, they're grateful, and they'll probably live the rest of their life trying to pay back that sacrifice. But it won't save a soul for me to, I could die for you and it won't save your soul. It won't do a thing for you. It won't make you a new creation. This verse isn't about you. It's about Jesus. And he's saying, I have such a great love for you. I'm going to lay down my life for my friends. So when you see that happen, you guys are going to know your love. Now, we're on the other side of the cross. We're 2,000 years later. It's easy for us to look back and say, he truly did it. He died. He rose from the dead. He ascended to the Father. He ever lives to make intercession for me. Therefore, he loves me. I know that he loves me. Now, what am I going to do with that love? And then I think, to really bring the point home, Jesus calls you a friend. Because to a Jew, the term meant something entirely different than to our modern society. For us, Brandon is my friend. That's because we've spent time together and we've talked and we've laughed and we've grown together and we've questioned things and we've answered them together and we've journeyed along as friends do. There's a mutual respect. There's a like. If there was a dislike, you would distance yourself. So that relationship has caused us to grow. That's what we think of as friends. We're not going to hang out with an enemy, so we can hang out with a friend. But for a Jew, it was an entirely different thought altogether. That if Jesus' audience thought he was the Son of God, and I believe by John 15 they're beginning to have the realization that we are walking and talking with the man who is everything he says he is. That if he is the Son of God, then friend has an entirely different connotation to the Jew.